All right, I'm on. Here we go. Last time I had a different picture here, and I was determined to go and see if I could find that exact same bottle. And I tried everything. I tried small pictures, medium pictures, large pictures. I tried everything. So I will be very impressed if any of you are able to find the exact same water bottle. Um, because I couldn't. And last time, guys, we were supposed to also insert a little clip or image here of a guy drinking water. And I also said to myself, I can't believe that I couldn't find that same picture. So I went back and I tried to find it and I couldn't find it either. So I think things changed since 2016 with regards to free pictures and things on online pictures. But like I said before, don't panic if you cannot find the exact same picture. Um, Similar picture, a guy doing more or less the same thing, all of that is fine. Okay, so as you can see, I changed that picture also to a guy drinking water. I also changed the top picture to another one. It doesn't matter. And like I told you guys before, I will also enter the text. I couldn't see anything last time. So today we are going to continue and we are going to finish this exercise and then you will be able to do class participation. I'm just going to make sure I didn't skip over anything from last time. And one thing I did skip over and I noticed it was I didn't increase this font size. Okay, so on slide 1, this drinking water while exercising, right? I think I did mention to you if you want to select one word, you double click, and if you want to select a sentence, you triple click. You can also select a paragraph if you triple click. And they want us to change that font size. At the moment, it is 20, and they want us to change it to 32. So that is one step that I definitely missed. And we did change the color of water to dark blue. I also mentioned to you, and I will just quickly say it again, just in case you weren't here last time, that these colors are associated with your theme, and you won't find the colors are always the same for different themes. And if I can open this color palette for you over here, this is the specific theme colors for blue variant. And in a bit, you will see that we are going to change it to something else. Okay, but that is only a bit later. So we are changing the color to dark blue, and then in slide 2 I added these sentences, and you will see that I use the increase and decrease indent button over here to make sure the triangle goes forward or it goes back. And like I said last time, the bullets will become smaller, 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 and the text will also become smaller as you go on. Okay, so that was what we did on slide 2. Okay, I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything on slide 2. They also, on this specific page, they want us to save this exercise, and I think you can all save. I am not going to save now because that will show everybody on YouTube all the contents in all my folders. Okay, so you guys can just go ahead and save wherever you feel like you should save. Just remember, if you're working in the lab, you should not save on my computer. I think you all know that by now. If you save on the C drive or on my computer, it is only on that specific computer. So if you sit at the same computer every time, that's going to be okay, but you don't. Someone else is going to sit there and someone else is going to be able to access your stuff. So in the past, we used to have the H drive. I'm sure you still have that. So it's always best to save in the H drive. But if you take your work home, I guess the best place to save is on a memory stick. Okay, so we are done entering the heading. All right, we entered. Okay, and then in the placeholder over here, we added all our text. Okay, so I'm moving along. And then we got to this image over here. Okay, not really this image, this slide. We inserted this slide, and I still explained to you that when you click on new slide, you will see many different layouts, and they will usually tell you which layout to use, and everyone has a name. For example, this is the to content layout, this is the comparison, this is title only, whatever. Okay, so in this one, I guess we had title only, and then we inserted this picture. Okay, how did we insert this picture? I'm just quickly reminding you that you could have inserted it using online pictures over here, But we could also have inserted it when we added a new slide with one of the small objects on the screen. Okay. Okay, so we are now ready to go to slide 4. Am I right? Okay, and slide 4 is going to be a comparison slide. So we're going to say insert, and then we're going to go to this one over here, and you can see it is even calling it by its name, comparison. Okay. What is a comparison slide? It is where you have two things on each side, and each of them can, it's where you compare two pictures. You can have two tables, you can have two graphs, you can have two, if anything, but they're next to each other, and you are basically looking at them at the same time, comparing them. Okay, so that is why they call it the comparison layout. Okay, so as a title, we are going to add a new title, and the title is Keep Replenishing Fluid Levels. All right, that is in our placeholder over here at the top. And then we have a little subtitle that we're going to put on the first slide. And here we say, while exercising 10 ounces, should I make a space? It looks like it. 10 ounces every 20 minutes. Okay, so that is going to be my one little heading for this side. And then on that side, after exercising, so as you can see, we are comparing how much water should you drink before and after exercising. So while exercising, I guess I should have made an enter here. Okay, so I'm just going to click backspace. There we go. And then after exercising, okay, enter. And what do they say about after exercising? 8 ounces within 30 minutes. I didn't spell that right. I'm going to fix it just now. Okay, so we've got two things that we are comparing. Now, they are only adding the pictures much later, but I'm already ready to add these pictures now. Okay, we have used this insert button to add the other pictures. Here we have online pictures, but you also have online pictures here in your block, and we are going to use this one here, which says online pictures. Now, in the first online picture, we are going to add a lady exercising. Okay, they usually tell you what to search for. What are they saying? They say search for women bottled water. Okay, so let's see if we find that image, searching for what they tell us. Women bottled water. Okay, when you get here, I always deselect this Creative Commons. I'm not sure why it's always selected. And then I will just select photographs because we are looking for a photograph. And then we are going to, once again, we're going to look for a woman that is exercising. And while she's exercising, she's drinking some water. And the specific woman that we're looking for, she's sitting on some kind of rowing machine. I'm not sure if that's going to be helpful if we enter that in our search. But I'm just going through this as quickly as I can. I'm not going to waste your time. So if I don't find anything, oh, there's someone exercising on a machine. Okay, I'm going to click that picture. You guys can go ahead and search your hearts out. Okay, I just don't want to use too much time. Okay, so yeah, I inserted this picture, and they actually made sure that it fits perfectly into this little block. So when you use this blocks, it will make sure that it fits in there. As when we did the other pictures for this water bottle and for this guy drinking water, we still had to resize that, and which is not a problem. Okay, the other picture that we are looking for is man exercises hydration. Wow, I wonder if they will find that picture. Let's look for it. So we're going to click there, and we're going to search man exercise hydration. Okay, let's see what they find. Once again, just select Creative Commons, and we are going to go for photographs. And yeah, this guy is looking like he's sitting on one of those machines. And if I don't find, there's someone here sitting on something, I'm just going to take this one. Okay. It's not the same one, but don't stress if it's not exactly the same one. Okay, so we have now inserted these two images, and you guys can go and look for more images or the exact same ones if you like, but it is not necessary. Okay, now we are going to change our design. And if you look on this, I'm not sure what the page number is, but it looks like page 10 or so. They are saying we are going to change our design to something different. Okay, now when we started this whole thing, we had iron theme. Okay, and now we're going to change it, and we're going to change it to this green theme over here. Okay, so they say tap or click the button and then choose this green theme, and they say if you're using mouse you're going to click on it. Okay, so we are now changing to this. Okay, but that's not all we're going to do. We are going to change the color variant as well, and we are now going to go for the blue variant. Okay, so we are now changing basically everything, and we're also choosing the color variant. What is this theme called? This theme is facet. So we are now changing from the iron theme to the facet theme. Of course, you can do that as many times as you like. It is one of those things that's beautiful about anything on the computer. Basically, you can just click undo and you are back where you were. Okay, so we are now changing it to a different one, and we are going to continue with our presentation. Okay, now they are trying to explain to us, if you follow the book, they are saying that what's nice about these thumbnails, oh look how they changed this thing, eh? It is that you can actually rearrange slides in this view, and that's true. I'm going to show you quickly how to do that. For example, I can scroll down and I can put that slide there. I can scroll this slide up, I can put that slide there. Okay, but it's not necessary to do if you have created your slides in the right order, but maybe you haven't and you would like to rearrange them a little bit if you like. Okay, we've got two. You can see that this placeholder was now on top of this placeholder. So all I did was I just moved it down so that the two placeholders were not covering each other. Okay, as you can see, it moved to the other side of our slide. Now they want us to insert a woman there, and they want us to again search for the word water bottle. So since we haven't got a tiny icon on the screen to click, we are just going to go back to online pictures, and we are going to search water bottle and see what they bring up. Like I said, you guys can get creative with your searches and you can try and find the exact same. But I think we should add something about women water bottle because it's going to give us just a lot of bottles. Okay, the picture that you're looking for, you can go and have a look later on when you look at the material that I uploaded there for you. But it's basically just a woman holding a water bottle, and I'm just going to choose one of these ones because I don't want to waste too much time. All right, so when you find your picture in this first lesson, they are not very particular about sizing. Okay, they're going to tell you resize it approximately to what you can see in the image. Okay, so they don't give you specific sizes in this lesson. They don't, but in the second lesson they are. So don't stress too much if you're not sure exactly what size it should be, because they are just saying to look at the picture and then just resize it a little. Okay, according more or less the way they show you here. So I'm just resizing it more or less to look like it looks in the picture. It's actually much nicer to resize it specifically. I'm going to show you quickly how to do that, even though it's not yet required. But when you have specific sizes that you want to use, you can simply click on your picture. Always make sure your picture is selected. You know it's selected when it has all these dots around. And then when you go to format, right on the right side, you will see size. And here you will see at the moment this image is 10.67 centimeters. So you can just resize it. I'm going to say 5 by 5, and then it's going to look like that. Okay, so you can also say 10 by 5, and it's going to look like that. Now, in the next lesson, I'm going to show you, our textbook is American, so it's going to show you inches and not centimeters. Very easy to just use inches instead of centimeters. You don't need to stress about that at all because you can very easily just do that. All right, so I'm just paging through my notes to make sure that we did all of that. We inserted that picture, we inserted that lady. How to duplicate a slide. Okay. All right, when you want to, let me just put this play back in a spot, let's say there. Okay, if you want to create another slide that is looking more or less like, let's say, for example, one of the other slides, you can duplicate that slide, and it's always very easy to do. You can just select the slide here on the thumbnail side, right-click, and then you can say duplicate slide. And here you can see you now have two of the same slides. Okay, obviously you don't want them right next to each other. So now you can take the second slide and let's say you can move it to the last slide or wherever it is you wish to take it. Okay. Now in this exercise, it looks like we are dragging our duplicate slide also to the last position here, which is number 5. And it looks like we are going to delete the placeholder. Once again, this is a placeholder that you see here. It's got this dotted line around it, and this is also a placeholder. Before I delete it, I just want to make sure, okay, they don't want us to, they just want us to remove some of the text and replace it with be healthy and drink water. Is that all? Yep. Be healthy, drink water. Okay, so I'm just going to delete the words that I don't want us there. Drink water. All right. So we deleted some text. This placeholder, let me just show you. You can resize it to be much smaller and it wouldn't affect any of your text. You can make it much larger and it wouldn't affect any of your text. But just remember, if you delete it, it's gone with the text. So if it contains anything, okay, don't delete it unless you absolutely want to delete it. Okay, now we're going to get to the fun part. We're going to add some transitioning to these slides. Later on, we are going to add some animations. Animation is only coming up, I think, in the next chapter. So let us look a little bit about transitioning. What is transitioning? Transitioning is the way the slide appears when you, for example, press enter, click with your mouse, or set the timing. It's not the way the things on the slide appear. In other words, if you want this picture to come bouncing in, that is not called transitioning. That is called animation. So if you want your slide to appear a certain way, that is going to be transitioning. Okay, so I'm going to start and just show you a couple of things before we look what the textbook wants us to do. Okay, there's some subtle transitionings. Here we have random bars, and I can click on, you can see how it looks. Then we have the shape in the middle, things like that. This is just very subtle. And then you have your exciting ones, for example, dissolve, glitter. And I'm not going to go through all of them because I'm sure you guys have done that millions of times. And then, of course, you get your dynamic one, which is basically like your slide appears like a Ferris wheel or something like that. So all of these are transitionings, yeah, how it is going to transition or how it's going to move to the next slide. Okay, so let's look what it is they want us to choose. Okay, so they say we are going to the exciting category and we're going to choose your, okay, once again, not going to be able to read that, so I'm going to go and choose something myself. So let's say, for example, you want to use switch. It looks like it could be switch that they want us to choose. So how will you now know if your slide has a transitioning, something is transitioning with your slide? Well, if you look here next to the thumbnail, you will see that there is a star, and that star indicates that this slide has some transitioning on it. Okay. Now, if you click on this preview button, you will be able to preview how it's going to happen. And then, of course, you can apply this transitioning to all your slides. But before you do that, let's just quickly see if they want us to change the timing. Yes, they do. Okay, let me talk a little bit about this timing section over here. Okay, sound. At the moment, it says there are no sounds, but you can definitely go and insert a sound if you wish. In this specific exercise, there isn't anything, but there's a typewriter, a wind, an arrow, a bomb, things like that. You know, I'm very old, but when when PowerPoint became very popular in the 90s and 2000s, people would use a different sound for every time a slide went, and people loved it. They really loved it, but now people hate it. I hate it. I can't stand these noises every time a slide goes to the next one. So if you love it, you can use it. Okay, but just remember that your audience may not enjoy it so much. Okay, so that is sound. Let's talk a little bit about duration. This is in seconds. Okay, they want us to choose 1.25 as well, so we can leave it at that. And then apply to all means that if I click on this, and I'm going to click on this, you will see that now every thumbnail has a little star under the number, which means that every single slide has now got a transitioning feature to it. And then, of course, this is absolutely important that you understand this. Is your slide going to advance by itself, or is it going to advance on a click? Okay, two things I want to say. If you're going to time your slide, let's say you choose this one and you're going to say it should advance after 5 seconds. Let's say you do that and you've got a sermon going on there on the screen, or let's say you've got something else happening and someone in the audience asks you a question and you answer them, but this slide is going. It's not caring anything about anybody asking you any questions. You've got a problem. Okay. You can still use back and forward arrows and you can still go anywhere with your mouse, but it's going to look very unprofessional. So my suggestion is use the mouse click because it's just safer. You don't have to click on the mouse. You can also press enter, space bar. Many other buttons will advance also the arrow. But this timing is just if you are basically going to view a presentation, the presentation is maybe going to contain a recorded voice and you don't really have to say much on it. Okay. Otherwise, it's very hard to control. Let's say you are very romantic and you upload a song to your PowerPoint and you want the song to play in the background while the words are coming and going on the slide. Okay, then definitely it will have to advance automatically, but it's not something that you are going to control. You're going to maybe create your slideshow, you're going to convert it into a video and you're going to put it on YouTube. Okay, then no one is going to interfere. You're going to type your words, it's going to appear. I'll show you how to do that. It's very nice if you are into things like that. And then you can just upload the video to convert this into a video. Very easy to convert PowerPoint slides into video. You can see here, you can save it as you can export it, here we go, as a video. Okay, just showing you that. So long, we will talk about that a little bit later. Okay, so it looks like we have come to the end of this class participation. The very last thing that they want you to know is how to print something like this. Okay, it's not recommended to print slides, but sometimes you want to print notes from your lecturers. And you know what, when I worked there at the college on campus in the lab, students would just say print, and they would print slides on A4 papers like this, and there would be just 2 words on it. Yo, my heart would fail. It feels like it would fail because you guys pay for your own prints now. So if you want to print something, just click on print and then just go ahead and here at the bottom, just choose what it is you wish to print. A lot of the time, all I'm sure you basically just wanted to print was 2 slides on a page, maybe. Maybe you wanted to print a handout page. Okay, a handout page is sometimes when you just want the text, you don't want the pictures. When you have notes, I don't have any notes on this one, so you won't see any notes there. So maybe this is what you were trying to print. So always make sure when you want to print something, look, maybe you did want to print a slide. Okay, mine is black and white because my printer is a black and white printer, but just make sure when you print slides, that it is printing what you in fact wanted to print. Okay, don't waste all your money. Okay, so you don't need to print anything for this module. You're also not going to print your exam, thank goodness. Otherwise that would just take rims and rims of paper on that specific day. Okay, let me think if there's anything else I wanted to add here. I think we've covered most of it or all of it. And I think you guys are ready to now do this on your own. So I'm going to stop the video and I'm going to allow for questions.